Imagine you are living in a remote village in the mountain of Papua. You have a smartphone, but there is no signal. You want to learn, you want to grow your business, you want to connect with the world, but a digital wall is blocking you. This is not a fictional story. This is the reality for 38% of Papua's population today. And hi, my name is Tia Fitriana Sari, a student from Venus University. Now, I will present our business diplomacy proposal, Program PADI, or Papua Digital Initiatives. This is a CSR and business diplomacy for PT Telkomsel to bridge the digital divide in Papua province. And I will cover three things: the business gap, our analytical framework, and our program proposal to solve it. Before we look at the gap, let me set the context. Business diplomacy is essential for multinational corporations operating in politically sensitive regions like Papua. MNCs must build relationships with governments, communities, and local stakeholders to gain legitimacy. And for Telkomsel, Papua is a high-risk but strategically important region. Let me now show you the scale of the problem. Internet penetration in Papua is only 29.87%. Jakarta has already reached more than 86%. Around 38.12% of Papua is still a blank spot. No stable digital signal cover at all. High operational costs, geographical barriers, and security conflicts make a network expansion more difficult and expensive. And at the same time, Starlink is creating new competitive pressures for Telkomsel. When we apply value chain analysis, we find a critical internal weakness. Telkomsel operates over 247,000 BTS tower nationwide, generated more than 102 trillion rupiah in revenue, and served over 159 million subscribers. Impressive numbers on paper, but Papua is severely underserved in outbound logistic and after-sales service. Many remote villages still have little to no signal coverage. At the same time, Grapari service center remains extremely limited across the region. As a result, Telkomsel national strength does not fully reach Papua. This creates more than just an operational challenge. It creates a strategic risk because if Telkomsel fails to improve accessibility and connectivity in Papua, the company risks losing its social license to operate. And in the long term, that becomes a serious business problem. Now let's move to the external business gap. Using Porter 5 forces, the biggest threat facing Telkomsel in Papua is actually not another telecom operator. It's satellite technology. Services such as Starlink, supported by LEO satellites, can provide internet access to remote areas without the need to build BTS towers. This creates a significant substitution threat, especially in regions where conventional infrastructure is expensive and difficult to deploy. Meanwhile, supplier bargaining power remains moderate. Telkomsel still relies on major technology providers such as Ericsson, Huawei, and Nokia to develop and maintain telecommunication infrastructure in Papua. Because the technology is highly specialized and deployment costs are high, Telkomsel has limited flexibility in managing this partnership. When we apply diamond theory and compare Papua with Java, the gap becomes clear. Papua faces lower digital literacy, limited infrastructure, and lower levels of education and human development. It also lacks supporting industry with few digital startups, limited repair service, and weak digital ecosystem. As a result, internet penetration in Papua is only 29.87% compared to 86% in Jakarta. From the SWOT analysis, the Telkomsel strengths are its network, infrastructure, and government partnership. However, high operating costs and uneven infrastructure quality remain major challenges. So how did we analyze this? We use four frameworks working in sequence. First, value chain analysis to find the internal gap. Second, Porter 5 forces to map competitive pressure. Third, diamond theory to assess Papua's ecosystem. And fourth, business model canvas to design the solution. from diagnosis to analysis to implementation. That implementation is program PADI. Program PADI is built on three key pillars. The first pillar is infrastructure. We propose deploying 500 solar power for GPTS towers across remote area of Papua by 2027, helping expand connectivity to underserved communities. The second pillar is affordability. We propose affirmative internet package that make digital access more affordable for Papuans because internet access should not depend on geography. The third pillar is digital literacy. We propose training 2,000 local digital agents who can empower their own communities through technology, education, and entrepreneurship. In conclusion, the digital divide in Papua is not simply a technological challenge. It's a challenge of access, opportunity, and inclusion. Through PADI, Telkomsel can go beyond providing connectivity by creating meaningful social impact through infrastructure, affordability, and digital literacy. By doing so, Telkomsel not only strengthens its business presence of Papua, but also builds trust, empowers communities, and contributes to a more inclusive digital future. Because true business diplomacy is not only about building relationship, it's about creating lasting value for the people we serve. And that is about PADI program. And thank you for watching.